4 News Now at 6. New security cameras are coming to Lewis and Clark High School. Why the school board and students say the school needed the extra security.
And we're getting a little bit of a break from wetter weather. It's not going to last too long, though. I'm going to help you plan your weekend around the next storm.
More than $100 million in funding is coming to Washington to help with childcare. How that money is being used and if it will help lower your monthly bill. You're watching 4 News Now at 6 o'clock. We start with breaking news. A fire at a home in Lewiston killed 3 dogs this afternoon.
Firefighters tell us the fire started just before 3 o'clock on 18th Street near Cedar Avenue. Fire crews say they arrived to find smoke coming out of the roof of that house. And after the fire was put out, they say they found 3 dogs in the house who didn't make it. No one else was home at the time. About $50,000 in damages is now being reported, and the cause of the fire is under investigation. Well, this is one of the security cameras already in place in the Lewis and Clark High School parking lot. During Wednesday night's school board meeting, the board unanimously voted to approve the addition of even more cameras like these. Now over 30 are on the way. The new cameras will be monitored by school administrators.
Well, the district says they hope these new cameras will bring an increased sense of security to the campus. Tonight at 6 o'clock, Bronte Sorotsky shares what's next now that these cameras are approved by the school board.
Safety is a top priority for schools, and that's why security cameras like the one behind me were unanimously approved for Lewis and Clark's parking lot at Wednesday night's school board meeting. Students tell me that the addition of these cameras helps them feel safer with their campus being right here downtown.
It's for the students to be able to feel safe when they come to school and leave school, just knowing that they're gonna be safe.
Students at Lewis and Clark aren't just in school during the day. Some arrive before the sun rises and some leave after the sun sets.
So this is a busy place, and adding these we feel will help in the safety and protection of our families.
After unanimous approval by the school board, the district is gearing up to install brand new security cameras in the parking lot.
We have 4 parking lots, and we'll have 32 total cameras within those 4 car parking lots. So you can figure about 8 cameras per parking lot.
Once installed, school administrators will monitor them, although it won't be 24/7. They say it's more to react if anything suspicious does happen.
They're not monitored 100% of the time. They're more reactionary to events than they are for procedures to stop events. This site, there's been a little bit more of an uptick of activity, and we want to address that as best as we can.
And for students, the new addition is comforting.
I remember when I had practice, it'd be dark, so lights and cameras would be reassuring, and just being able to walk out here without feeling scared or nervous.
These new cameras should be installed and in use in the next 2 months. Reporting in Spokane, Bronte Sorotsky, 4 News Now.
Take a look at this map. That area you see shaded in red shows how many people are still under a water boil advisory in Lewiston. It's thousands of families. The city continues to investigate what caused a breach at one of its 7 reservoirs. Engineering experts say the rupture was likely an isolated event. The city declared an emergency, authorizing $200,000 to be used to repair or replace the water system infrastructure.
The Washington Department of Transportation says there are now fewer than 150 people living at Spokane's largest homeless encampment that was once the size of a small town. At its peak, there were more than 600 people living at Camp Hope. And in this video, you see how much the camp has changed since November. The state says more work still needs to be done to make sure everyone at the camp gets the support they need to be moved to more permanent housing. Well, most of us had a little glimpse of the sun today and tonight, but didn't really last long.
Yeah, we have more gray days on the way, even a chance of snow. Let's send it over to meteorologist Matt Gray in for Chris tonight with your first alert forecast, Matt.
All right, thank you. And we are going to see a little bit of snow this weekend, but it is going to be brief, so that's a good thing. Certainly something to plan around. So keep in mind your Saturday may see some snowy conditions as some of that moisture comes down out of Canada on the radar picture you just saw. As for right now, well, we're going to be some of the coolest weather we've had in a little while. It has been a warm couple of weeks, and that includes nighttime temperatures. We're already at freezing in Spokane and Coeur d'Alene, upper 20s in Omak, and slowly but surely we're all going to start falling into the 20s, and that includes areas that are under some fog and low clouds that are trying to develop across mainly North Idaho, but there is some low cloud cover in parts of Spokane County. We're also getting reports of freezing fog in the Omak area. Of course, that freezing fog, ice collection. You need the ice scraper, could cause some slick conditions at times in the morning. So as we continue through the rest of the night, temperature is going to drop into the 20s fairly quickly here, and we will end up down into the mid-20s. It's pretty average for this time of year, but it definitely feels a little bit chillier after the warm couple of weeks that we had. With that fog moving in and out, show you where the fog is most likely to show up in the morning. Plus, we'll take a look at that snow for the weekend coming up.
Thank you, Matt. The stress of balancing school and sports and a social life can take a toll on teenagers' mental health. What experts say you can do to help coming up.
And this may look like someone playing a video game, but it's actually police training. We'll show you how virtual reality is being used to train officers to better protect you and your family. Next on 4 News Now at 6.
Track live radar on the 4 News Now weather app.
4 News Now is brought to you by Parker Subaru. Those responsible for making our local roads and highways safe for winter travel would like to remind you that snow removal is an important, critical, and precise task. Please give the right-of-way to removal equipment so we can all get where we need to go quickly and safely.
Home. It's both a place and a feeling. At yours, you strive to make new memories, create traditions, share stories, find the fun, embrace the surprises, and celebrate moments big and small. Memories are made at home, in every room, in every moment. Make your house feel like home at the Tin Roof.
Coeur d'Alene Casino is giving you 3 ways to win one of 42 cruises this January. Play to earn entries starting January 1st. Then, come in for the $75,000 Cruisin' in 23 giveaway to be one of 30 winners of a cruise for 2 and $500 cash on January 28th. Next, we'll announce 10 winners of the Cruise to Alaska Point Battle on January 29th. Plus, join the Extra Bingo game for a chance to win a $2,000 certificate towards a dream cruise, only at Coeur d'Alene Casino.
When Aspen Dental told me that my dentures was ready, I was so excited. I love the confidence. I love that I can flash this beautiful smile and make the world smile with me. I would totally say Aspen Dental changed my life.
Aspen Dental makes new smiles affordable. Right now, get 20% off dentures. We do anything to make you smile. Schedule your consultation today.
Chevy Silverado factory lifted trucks. Where will they take you? Silverado ZR2, Trail Boss, and Custom Trail Boss, because adventure is everywhere.
Well-qualified buyers get 2.99% financing on all 2022 Silverado 1500 pickups, or get $2,500 total cash allowance on this Silverado with a 2.7-liter engine. Plus, current competitive owners get an additional $750 cash allowance.
Winter weather means hazardous driving conditions. If you must travel, follow these guidelines to keep everyone safe. Slow down and keep a safe following distance. Use traction tires. Give snow and emergency vehicles the right of way. Carry an emergency kit. Brought to you by Lakes, Worley, Post Falls, and Eastside Highway Districts.
Well, that's not someone playing a video game. It's police training. This afternoon, officers at the Spokane Police Academy use virtual reality as a new training tool. The Spokane Police Department says the new tool helps build a better officer and keeps the community safe.
It's one of the first 100 agencies in the country to start using this type of training, and our Vanessa Perez gives us a look inside the headset.
Spokane police officers got a realistic training with this VR headset today to go through different scenarios and practice de-escalation methods.
Get on the ground! Do not move! Get away from him now!
Officers are being put into a handful of everyday scenarios. They're tasked with reacting the best way possible.
Drop the gun! Drop the gun now!
In some cases, reaching for their stun gun or handgun.
Our ultimate goal in any situation is to de-escalate and make it a safe environment for all peoples involved, whether it be the citizens, the neighbors, or the person experiencing a crisis. That's our ultimate goal, and so this just gives us more tools and more opportunity to learn those.
Hey, get away from me, you'll be tased!
At the end of each scenario comes a debrief.
and then we can debrief and talk about the good parts that they did, learning lessons. We can keep track and notes of the scenarios so that we can bring it up and say, did we think about this? Did we use good verbals? Did we think about this issue inside that scenario?
How you're going to make your selection, Vanessa, is by staring at that circle.
I put on the VR headset and received a glimpse of what officers might deal with. I was given a position as an off-duty officer. She came in contact with a person dealing with schizophrenia. The officer talked the person down and eventually got him help.
It makes you a part of the game, which is what we're trying to do here, is give the officers a chance to learn and experience scenarios here at the training center versus have it always just happen out on the streets.
The department's stun gun company, Axon, is giving the training. It will then be passed down to all the officers. This VR headset is just another good tool to keep officers and the community safe. Spokane Police Department will start to train officers the first week of February. Reporting in Spokane, Vanessa Perez, 4 News Now.
Keeping an eye on some fog development tonight. Otherwise, some dry conditions for your Friday. Not quite going to be the same on Saturday as the next storm system moves in. We'll talk about that and some cooler temperatures than what we've seen recently. Coming up in your First Alert forecast.
Download the 4 News Now app today.
Save your greed!
Come on, Lucky Charm. Enough with the textbook.
You're up 1,100 and I got a test tomorrow.
What's more important, me winning a jackpot today or your entire future sometime in the future? Besides, how hard could it be? Go ahead, quiz me.
Fine. What's the square root of 349?
18.682. I just wasted my luck, didn't I?
At Papa Murphy's, we do more than just pizza. We do meatballs and marinara.
Papa Murphy's does meatballs?
Oh, I think you mean I do the meatballs and marinara?
And how do you do it, Dad?
How do I do it? How do I do it?
Oh, well, we do it with savory ground beef
covered in tangy marinara. That's how, honey.
At Papa Murphy's, we make great pizza.
And don't forget the meatballs.
Order now at papamurphys.com.
Not so fast, Omicron. New updated COVID boosters are now available to ages 6 months and older. So maximize your protection against Omicron and help reduce the spread. Book your updated booster with your pharmacy or healthcare provider.
Senator Patty Murray is celebrating what she calls a major victory, having acquired an additional $1.8 billion in funding for child care nationwide.
Washington will get $110 million of that funding. In Washington, the average monthly cost of full-time child care is $1,044 per child. That's about $261 per week and $12,528 per year. Once again, that is per child.
And the average household income in Washington state is about $82,000. Here in Spokane County, that number is closer to $60,000, meaning roughly 20% of your income would go toward putting your child through child care. KXLY's Jordan Smith joins us in studio now to explain why.
Well, Kirsten, a big part of the problem is the child care industry is facing a major staffing shortage. The teacher-to-student ratio is growing, meaning it's one teacher per, say, 16 students. And these staff members are juggling a multitude of different skill sets between multiple children, and it's burning people out.
I think the biggest issue that we're having in childcare right now centers around staffing.
Kira Bauer is the director of the Little Scholar Center. The biggest challenge she faces, finding quality staff to look after your children. At one point, they were down 7 positions, vacancies that took months to fill.
For me to spend $2,000, $3,000, sometimes $4,000 a month on Indeed or Facebook campaigns for staffing is not unheard of.
Once they secured an employee, they then have to keep them around.
You can't pay them $15.50 an hour. You're looking closer to $23, $24, $25 an hour.
But to afford these teachers, childcare centers have to charge more from parents. So what solutions can alleviate this problem? The simplest one being reallocating funding, something Bauer is calling on lawmakers everywhere to consider.
Stop thinking of this as a burden and start thinking of it as an investment. It recently came out that for every dollar that is put into early childhood education, $7 are returned on that investment.
For example, if lawmakers are able to assist in lowering childcare costs, parents can return to work and then generate even more income. This approach is being applied for low-income families. But for those who earn an income above that threshold, they're on the hook for the bill. Plus, an investment in qualified teachers is becoming crucial, particularly when the kindergarten readiness rate in Spokane is hovering about 50%. Now, so the good news is the city of Spokane and Spokane County have begun to invest in middle-class tuition assistance programs. Kira's hope is that the rest of the state starts to take notice and then follow in their footsteps. It's a long journey, but these are the early steps of this progress. In studio, I'm Jordan Smith, 4 News Now.
And we turn from that to your forecast. We are progressing back into weather that feels a lot more like winter after what's been almost a month now of some very warm wintry conditions. Right now we're at freezing in Spokane and Coeur d'Alene. The clouds starting to filter back in over Spokane, and definitely want to probably avoid westbound I-90 in the Coeur d'Alene area. It doesn't look too good there on the camera. For this evening, temperature is going to fall into the 20s pretty quickly. We'll start off with some breaks in those clouds, that as the night goes on, the cloud deck expands across the metro, and eventually we'll end up with a little bit of freezing fog in the morning. And it is going to be quite chilly, at least compared to the past couple of weeks. 25 in Spokane, Coeur d'Alene gets down to 26. We get down to the teens in Winthrop. In fact, we're there already. 30 in Lewiston tonight, in the upper 20s in Bonners Ferry. Taking a look around the metro and where we're going to see some fog development, likely around Deer Park as we get towards that midnight hour. Other areas of patchy fog development. Really, though, it's in the early morning as we continue to cool off that things will really start to expand, especially around the West Plains. Always a fog hotspot, and that's certainly what we're going to see in places like Airway Heights and Cheney. A little bit more patchy as you get into the lower parts of the valley and around the Spokane River, but patchy fog rolling in and out pretty much at any time through the morning hours until things start to ease up there around midday. So that's what you should expect. Add maybe an extra 5 minutes or so just in case you do run into some of that fog. Cloudy skies at midday. In the afternoon, a few breaks of sun, but I'm not nearly as optimistic for Spokane in particular for what we saw today to be a repeat where we do get some hours of just almost perfect sunshine. Now, further to the west, you are going to see that. Places like Ritzville and Moses Lake, it will be a sunny afternoon. Speaking of Moses Lake, 35 for a high tomorrow. Same for Spokane and Coeur d'Alene. 40s in Lewiston, right around freezing as you get across the northern tier of our viewing area. Speaking of the northern tier, we're going to be watching the radars up in Canada because that is where our next storm is going to be coming from. That moisture going to drop down, and that will be on Saturday, so things will be fairly quiet. Just some mountain flurries for the next day and a half or so. But here we go. This is Saturday afternoon. Snow begins to fall in the Cascades. This is about 2 o'clock on our simulation. We head towards 5, 6 o'clock. Idaho Panhandle, places like Colville, into the metro. That's where we're going to see that snow quickly move across the region. As you can see, by the time we head towards 7, 8, 9 o'clock, all of a sudden it's all the way down in the Palouse, and it's in and out fairly quickly. And so we're not expecting a whole lot of snow amounts out of this. A dusting up to around an inch or so. That's what we're thinking right now, but we'll keep you updated. And with that part of the forecast, it's going to be a little bit hard to see, especially in the northern parts of our region. The snow might sneak up on you on Saturday, so that's why we're going to be talking about timing a lot of the next couple of days. The Spokane radar, scheduled maintenance. So it's going to be off for an entire week, January 20th through the 27th, as they install new backup generators. case the power goes out. You want to have the radar on when you're in that type of weather situation. So that rain and snow going to be a little bit harder to see. Just another reason to keep an eye on our forecast discussions as we talk about the timing here for Friday and Saturday on KXLY.com. But just be aware that Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, you'll want to prepare for some snowy conditions. Same goes for Monday as well. We may have a chance for a little bit of light snow to kind of sneak in there. Sunday actually looking pretty nice with a little bit more sunshine. Really looking forward to that.
Thank you, Matt. It's been 5 years since Washington State University quarterback Tyler Hilinski died by suicide. Now Hilinski's Hope Foundation fights for the mental health of all student athletes. Balancing sports, school, a social life can take a toll on a teen's mental health.
Experts say while the stakes of competing and winning are high for college athletes, the mental and emotional strain can be an even bigger challenge for high school athletes. ABC's Morgan Norwood has more.
I think I'm going to take a break from playing for a while.
Mental and emotional health in sports has taken center stage in recent years, with star athletes like Simone Biles, Naomi Osaka, and Ricky Williams sharing their struggles with fans. But it's not just professional players. Many colleges are now providing their teams mental health resources. But Dr. Laura Erickson-Schroth, Chief Medical Officer at the Jed Foundation, says high school athletes need support too.
I think we tend to think of it as more of a problem for college athletes when there's more intense competition, but high school sports have been changing quite a bit.
Dr. Erickson-Schroth says today's high school athletes are under more pressure from adults, and college recruitment can start as young as sophomore year, meaning some teen athletes are missing out on a lot of typical high school experiences. But moms and dads can help.
Parents can do a lot to support young people, and one of the most important things is being open from the beginning, from when children are young, that everyone has emotions, that they deal with their own difficulties, that they have coping skills.
And emphasizing that it's not just about winning.
Well, coming up on 4 News Now, we will have more on crime and vandalism forcing one downtown church to move away from Spokane, the final straw that pushed them out. Coming up.
Stream 4 News Now on your TV for free with the KXLY Plus app.
Just like your car needs regular maintenance and oil changes, so does your home's heating and cooling systems. Bill's Heating and Air has assembled a large group of highly skilled service technicians just for this. Servicing the greater Spokane and Coeur d'Alene area will maintain your equipment to ensure performance and efficiency. Not to mention, increase the life of your system. With the number of technicians available, we can meet your emergency outages within 24 hours. Bill's Heating and Air, the home of the $59 service call. Call now and schedule your maintenance or service needs.
The Spokane Ag Show returns to the Spokane Convention Center February 7th through the 9th. This exciting 3-day event features ag industry vendors, recertification courses, and informative seminars. Returning speakers include weatherman Art Douglas and WSU ag economist Randy Fortenberry. Park free at the Spokane Arena with free shuttle buses to and from the convention center. Visit agshow.org for detailed information and online ticket purchase. Meet, learn, and grow at the 2023 Spokane Ag Show.
Get ready for the Harlem Globetrotters 2023 World Tour, presented by Jersey Mike Subs. All new, non-stop action, amazing basketball skills, and more. Playing Spokane Arena and Beasley Coliseum January 23rd and 30th. Go to harlemglobetrotters.com/EastWA.
Welcome to Coeur d'Alene Honda, home of the lifetime warranty.
Well, hi. Hey, I'm looking for a new Honda, but I heard some dealers are charging outrageous prices.
At Coeur d'Alene Honda, we simply don't do that.
We ain't no big city slickers with second stickers.
It's business as usual.
We are a family-owned dealership, and our reputation is far more valuable than overcharging our customers.
We want to be here for you today, tomorrow, and in the future.
And don't forget about our lifetime warranty.
Check out our website at cdahonda.com.
Hepatitis C? Don't just treat it. Crush it with Mavorite.
Conquer it with Mavorite.
Cure it with Mavorite. Mavorite cures all types of Hep C.
In only 8 weeks.
The virus multiplies daily and can damage the liver over time. Mavorite stops Hep C and cures it. If you've had hepatitis B, it may flare up and cause serious liver problems during and after treatment. Tell your doctor if you've had Hep B, a liver or kidney transplant, other liver problems, HIV, other medical conditions, and all your medicines. Do not take Mavorite with atazanavir or rifampin. Report right away yellow skin, stomach pain or swelling, confusion and bleeding or bruising.
Hep C, crush it with Mavorite.
Conquer it.
Cure it in only 8 weeks. See Hep C gone with Maverick.
Ask your doctor about Maverick. AbbVie could help you save.
4 News Now is brought to you by End the Violence.
Around the nation, the Treasury Department says the U.S. reached its debt limit, forcing them to start extraordinary measures to keep the government fully funded for the next few months.
The Treasury Secretary is urging Congress to act quickly before the nation defaults on its debt. ABC's Em Nguyen is in D.C. with a look at where things stand and the potential economic fallout.
Today, the Treasury Department officially starting its extraordinary measures to pay the nation's bills after the federal government hit its spending cap. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen sending a letter to lawmakers warning the aggressive steps she'll be taking, including cutting contributions to federal retirement plans, will only keep the government afloat until around June, before the nation will default on its more than $31 trillion in debt. Yellen urging Congress to act promptly and raise the debt ceiling or temporarily suspend it. A showdown now looming between the White House and Democrats and Republicans in the House.
There seems to be no willingness on either side to come to the tables and negotiate.
Speaker Kevin McCarthy and other Republicans insisting on deep spending cuts in exchange for raising the limit.
The path that the Democrats are going, they're going to go bankrupt.
House Republicans now drafting a plan that would require the Biden administration to prioritize paying back certain debts over others if a deal can't be reached. But that plan would be dead on arrival in the Senate, which is controlled by Democrats.
This is not a plan. It is a recipe for economic catastrophe.
Economists warn millions of Americans could lose their jobs, while others may have their government benefits like Social Security, Medicare, military salaries stopped, and tax refunds delayed. In 2011, a similar stalemate between Republicans and Democrats over raising the debt limit led to the U.S. having its credit rating downgraded for the first time.
The markets already have enough stress as is. We add a potential government default, then that could really send the markets down to extreme lows.
Voting to raise the debt ceiling is not a vote to spend more money. By increasing the credit limit, it allows the federal government to pay off debts it already owes. Em Nguyen, ABC News, Washington.
Actor Alec Baldwin and Rust film weapons handler Hannah Gutierrez-Reed are each charged with 2 counts of involuntary manslaughter for the 2021 movie set shooting and killing of cinematographer Halyna Hutchins, striking her in the chest and injuring director Joel Souza. In 2021, Baldwin described the moment Hutchins was shot, saying he never pulled the trigger. Both Baldwin and Reed's attorneys released statements saying they will fight the charges and win. The Santa Fe district attorney spoke about the charges.
Don't know how the live bullets ended up on the set. I don't know that we'll ever know the answer to that question. There was no sabotage. I think this was simple human complacency and failure to do their jobs correctly.
Halyna Hutchins' family releasing a statement following today's announcement reading, "It is a comfort to the family that in New Mexico, no one is above the law. We support the charges and will fully cooperate with this investigation."
Crime in Spokane forced one pastor to make a difficult decision. The events that convinced him it was time to move the Redemption Church out of downtown Spokane. Coming up on 4 News Now at 6:30.
Sign up for breaking news alerts with the 4 News Now app.
At Eastern Washington University, computer scientists are building a U.S. cyber defense center to contain cybersecurity threats. Physical and occupational therapy students are empowering children with disabilities to be successful and confident. And history students are working with the National Park Service to create living histories of our public lands. An interdisciplinary education that gets real about the real world, that's the new thing. It is Eastern Washington and you. Apply today at ewu.edu.
Frozen water pipes are a serious risk during cold winter weather. When water freezes in a pipe, it can be a disaster for your home and your wallet. If you're not properly prepared, don't wait until it's too late. At Mainstream, we know exactly what it takes to keep your family safe during the cold season. So call or visit us online today.
When we designed the all-new Honda Pilot Trail Sport, we made it adventure ready. With features like off-road tuned suspension, an enhanced all-wheel drive system, all-terrain tires, and Trail Watch, so you can blaze new trails. The all-new Pilot Trail Sport, the most off-road capable Honda SUV ever.
We already know Washington State is dead last, 50th out of 50 states in available housing supply. The good news is Olympia leadership can turn this around. Here's 3 common sense reforms we need from legislators. Allow more housing types like duplexes, triplexes, and condominiums. Increase density near transit centers. Cut through red tape limiting new construction. Join our Welcome Home Coalition. We can act to welcome more families home.
12 parents invited us into their homes, all in search of today's best parenting style.
I want to know why my house looks like a nuclear explosion and your house looks like that.
The Parent Test, new tonight on ABC.
The cop under fire for using deadly force 4 times.
He's in the car behind us right now.
Next, Inside Edition.
It should have stopped after the second one, not 3 and not 4.
Is he fit for duty after not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 separate shooting deaths?
Authorities insist the shootings were justified. Inside Edition investigates. Next, Inside Edition.
Watch 4 News now at 6 and Inside Edition at 7. Live from downtown Spokane, this is 4 News Now at 6:30.
For several years, Redemption Church in downtown Spokane has been facing vandalism, broken windows, theft, a nearby murder, and then gunshots interrupting services. You'll hear it here.
That you've set before us.
Well, now there's a for sale sign outside those church doors. The building is full of rich history, once a Swedish tabernacle, and now there are still cornerstones in place from 1886.
Well, the pastor at Redemption Spokane says crime in the area has reached a point where the beautiful landmark just isn't worth it anymore. Emily Bloom explains plans for the future.
Aaron, Kirsten, this location here on 2nd Avenue and Division, busy at all hours of the day and the night. Now this vacant building across the street at one point was a Starbucks serving coffee hand over fist. When Redemption Spokane moved in, they saw that as a gauge for what the community would look like for them.
As the years progressed, we saw really what it was criminal activity that started getting worse and worse.
Pastor Jonathan Benetti remembers business meetings outdoors under the umbrellas, students studying for hours, and families stopping in. Today, things look much different.
July of 2021 was the first time we heard gunshots, and it was during the service.
That you've set before us.
That moment was followed by a murder one block away more recently, and that was a tipping point.
So after those 2 events, we really started looking seriously at what does our future here look like.
The pastor describes the current situation as draining.
I think we've been stretched so thin with trying to clean up around the building, trying to mitigate the vandalism that we've had around here, that many times it's more of an exhaustive thing coming in to work here.
Ultimately, the insurance provider dropped the church because of liability at the end of last year, and that was the final straw.
It's definitely bittersweet to think of leaving and moving, but I think the pros and cons, when we weighed them, the safety was just the #1 thing that kept coming up in our meetings.
Now, another page is being turned in the history book of this iconic building. Now Spokane police tell us they have put this specific location in that 7-Eleven that is kitty corner to us high on their priority list. The pastor here tells us he is looking for a new location, and he hopes to find it within just a few miles of where we're at right now. In the meantime, they will be offering, that is, services within the walls of this building. Reporting live in Spokane, Emily Bloom, 4 News Now.
And we take a look now live over downtown Spokane. We have ended up with some pretty nice weather here on Thursday. We now get set for, well, your typical calm winter northwest weather. Low clouds and fog. That's going to be something we're going to be saying a lot this week, as for the most part, our weather is on the calmer side. Let's take a look at what's happening right now. Areas in the yellow and orange on the map behind me, those are where we are seeing some low cloud cover, and we're also going to see most likely some fog development later on tonight. In fact, already in Omak, we're getting reports of some freezing fog. It would not surprise me if we start seeing fog development very soon around places like Colville and Chewelah if we have not already tonight. Temperatures in the 20s and 30s. Warm spot right now, downtown Spokane in the mid-30s. Most areas starting to dip below that freezing point. Freezing fog always can make things a little bit more slippery, and so that's the big thing to watch out for as we head into tonight and into the early hours of your Friday morning. Across the inland northwest, we are going to be a little bit cooler than we've been in a while, down to the mid-20s. It's pretty average for this time of the year, but as I've been mentioning through this program, we've been definitely on the warm side of things for the past couple of weeks. Our lows tonight in Spokane, it's 25. We'll get down to 26 in Coeur d'Alene. Everybody generally in the lower to middle 20s for most locations. Now, once we get into the weekend, we see even more changes. A little bit of light snow coming in for your Saturday. We'll show you how that plays out and some more information you need to know as we get ready to start off the weekend.
It's getting to the point where I'm no fun anymore.
Legendary singer and songwriter David Crosby has died. His family said he died after a long illness. Crosby was an iconic figure in folk rock music for more than 6 decades. He was a founding member of 2 memorable groups, the Byrds and Crosby, Stills and Nash. The Grammy Award winner and Rock and Roll Hall of Famer had a classic hits such as Mr. Tambourine Man and Turn, Turn, Turn when he was with the Byrds. He was 81 years old.
The new at 6:30. Close to 40 companies will be in Post Falls trying to hire more than 100 people. The job fair hosted by the Idaho Department of Labor happens next week. It starts at 10 o'clock on Tuesday. It's at the Post Falls Post Office on North Thornton Street. Some of the positions include cashiers, manufacturing, light industrial assembly, caregivers, and heavy equipment operators.
Well, vowing to exercise more and eat healthy or lose weight, always on the list of those New Year's resolutions. A local nurse practitioner wants to help others reach their health goals by sharing her weight loss journey through bariatric surgery, a procedure that reduces the size of the stomach so you eat less. Multi-care nurse practitioner Katie Hawley says losing weight has been challenging ever since she was a teenager. She says she was frustrated that she wasn't able to do outdoor activities because of her weight, and the decision to get bariatric surgery in 2020 changed her life forever. She transitioned her medical specialty from cardiology to helping more patients who are struggling with their weight.
Feel like I always say I feel like my inside matches my outside now. I get to do all the things that I love to do, and really the best part of me having this surgery is that I get to work in what I love to. I always thank patients for letting me be a part of their journey because it's a very personal journey.
Well, Holly says side effects from the surgery may include changes in hormones. The surgery does require a lifelong commitment because eating large amounts of food or smoking cigarettes are not options. Patients are also asked to set up a consultation with a bariatric surgeon first to see if you're healthy enough for the procedure. She says insurance coverage up to a year is required. You can hear more of her weight loss journey here on 4 News Now tomorrow at 6 o'clock.
Also new tonight, Bank of America says a glitch that appeared to drain some customers' accounts has now been resolved.
But it's little relief for some customers outraged after hours of uncertainty about their money. ABC's Andre Fuji has more.
A scary day for some Bank of America customers Wednesday. They checked their accounts and found their money gone.
I missed $1,400 from my account, and they're telling me that there's no way they can help us. You missing money too? There you go.
It was a nationwide issue.
I get a text alert and it says my account is overdrawn.
One customer tweeted their balance of negative $2,000. Most complaints involved the payment transfer service Zelle.
I did see that what was causing my negative balance was the Zelle transfer that I had at one time seen in my account and had received notification. It just disappeared.
I went to see my bank account and then I saw there's $100 less.
Zelle is owned by Bank of America and 6 other banks. It issued a statement saying, "We understand that a Zelle network financial institution may have experienced issues processing some of their customers' Zelle transactions, which has now been resolved."
Many customers tried to contact Bank of America customer service, but say they were unsuccessful. The bank apologized on social media, saying Zelle transactions made between January 14th and January 17th may be delayed in occurring and posting to accounts. Transfers will appear in your account as soon as possible. As of 3 p.m. Eastern, they said the problem was resolved, but did not give a reason for the disruptions. It's not the first time Zelle customers have had problems. The app is facing a lawsuit, with consumer advocates and lawmakers citing increasing fraud. A recent report claimed there were nearly 200,000 cases of fraudulent transactions on Zelle between 2021 and 2022, involving more than $200 million.
Some customers may face overdraft fees from yesterday's glitch. There was no immediate word from Bank of America on how any fees will be handled. Andrea Fujii, ABC News, New York. The Gonzaga Bulldogs are back in action tonight as they welcome in LMU. Coming up in sports, Alex Crescenti has the highlights from the game so far.
Download the 4 News Now app today.
My advice to all the fathers out there, they grow up way too fast for you to waste even a single precious moment.
The 35th annual In the Northwest RV Show is on now through Sunday at the Spokane Fairgrounds. 6 gigantic dealers, hundreds of RVs, incredible show prices, low financing, and high trade-ins. Now through Sunday, Spokane Fairgrounds with free parking.
I'm Mark Peterson, the Extreme Team and Horizon Credit Union, ready to take on the next task. If you know of a project that needs an Extreme Team makeover, go to KXOY.com to nominate it. 4 News Now Extreme Team brought to you by Horizon Credit Union.
Ironstone Furniture and Fire is making room for new inventory. For a limited time, you can create your ideal space and save on in-stock selections, sofas, chairs, tables, and more. Comfortable and beautiful furniture makes a house feel like home. Visit our showroom, Ironstone Furniture and Fire in Coeur d'Alene.
My grandfather, Doug Parker, started Parker almost 40 years ago, just a real small dealership with about 30 employees.
The people at Parker that make this place unique are hardworking, they know their jobs, and they're driven.
We have a lot of employees that have been here a long time, and I think that just ties into everything. Our culture, how we treat employees, we're always trying to become better people, become a better business, better community partner. It's our job to provide the best experience for every single person that walks in that door.
Where will your new Chevy take you this year? Anywhere. Find new experiences, find new roads. Well-qualified buyers get 2.99% financing on all Equinox models or get $1,000 cash allowance on all 2023 Equinox models. Plus, current competitive owners get an additional $750 cash allowance.
The 35th annual In the Northwest RV Show is on now through Sunday at the Spokane Fairgrounds. 6 gigantic dealers, hundreds of RVs, incredible show prices, low financing, and high trade-ins. Now through Sunday, Spokane Fairgrounds with free parking.
So let's say we get to Saturday, you open your 4 News Now weather app, you take a look at the radar before you go for a walk, go for a hike, go drive down the street to visit grandma, whatever you're doing. And hey, radar picture looks good, but wait a minute. We walk outside, we're seeing some snow. There is going to be a radar outage in Spokane this week. They are replacing, the Weather Service is, new backup generators in case power goes out. Unfortunately, that means because, you know, electrical components and all that stuff, the radar is going to be shut off for an entire week between the 20th, tomorrow, through the 27th, next Friday. So that means rain and snow going to be harder to see, especially in areas that are far away from the backup radars. You can see the cities where those are. So we'll have some partial radar coverage, plus some of the radars in Canada. So we'll have an idea of what's coming, but when it gets right over top of us, especially areas from Spokane and Coeur d'Alene to the north to the Canada border, across northeast Washington and the Idaho Panhandle, pretty hard for any other radar to see what's going on there. We're going to fill in the gaps as best we can, keep you informed, especially with our forecast discussions on KXLY.com for the days that we do see active weather over the next week. The good news is there's not that much of it. It is going to be a quieter week, but on Saturday in particular, that's why I used it as an example, we are going to see a little bit of snow drop down out of Canada. That begins at about 1 or 2 in the afternoon in the Cascades. Radars over on the west side should be able to pick that up, but as we head into the afternoon, here we go. Northeast Washington, the Panhandle, down into the metro. We'll see some light snow. It's not going to last for very long. This is going to be a quick moving storm. It's going to be in and out. By the time we get into the evening, we'll be seeing some snow around Pullman and Moscow, and already in Spokane and Coeur d'Alene, things will have quieted down. So it's going to be really fast, and we're not expecting a whole lot in the snow accumulation department. An inch at most across North Idaho. Most of us, though, could only be seeing a fraction of an inch. Where the fun stuff is going to be is in the ski area. So it actually looks like a pretty awesome looking ski weekend. We got some fresh snow, so let's take a look at your ski report. Sponsored by Lookout Pass. At Lookout tomorrow, 27 degrees, cloudy skies. We'll likely see a little bit of sun come out. 2 inches of snow in the last 24 hours. Silver Mountain got 4 inches of snow from the last storm. High of 23. It's definitely got to dress for a little bit chillier weather than what we've been seeing recently. Mount Spokane, 29 degrees, 6 fresh inches of snow, and nice groomers out there for night skiing, which I believe they have going on tonight as well. 49 north, 29 for the high as well. 9 inches of fresh snow and more on the way for this weekend. Same goes for Schweitzer. They should get a good dose out of this next upcoming storm. Fresh 7 inches there and packed powder across the region. So pretty nice after some very warm weather the last couple of weeks. Our highs only in the mid-30s. That's pretty close to where we should be at this time of the year. So no 40s on the board with the exception of the LC Valley. We'll likely end up with some fog to start off the day around the region. As we get into the middle of the day, that fog lifts. Temperature's going to stay in the 20s for a good while. We'll end up in the mid-30s as we get a few peaks of sun coming in there in the afternoon. For the evening, the clouds begin to shuffle back over, and we'll see some more fog development for your Friday. So overall, pretty calm day, pretty nice looking day as well. As we plan things out, overall cooler weather, slight chance of some snow showers again for your Monday. Sunday, that is a good looking forecast. I think we got a pretty good chance for some more widespread sunshine.
Matt, thank you. More bad news for disgraced Republican Congressman George Santos.
He's now being accused of scamming a homeless veteran out of thousands of dollars to help save his dying dog. ABC's M. Wynn has more.
I'm not doing this as a political... Embattled New York Congressman George Santos, already under fire for apparently making up the entire biography he used to persuade voters, now accused of pocketing $3,000 he raised on GoFundMe that was intended for a homeless veteran's dying dog.
I had developed pretty bad PTSD. She definitely was the reason that I'm still here.
Navy veteran Richard Osthoff says he was living on the streets in New Jersey when his service dog Sapphire developed a tumor. Another veteran referred him to a pet charity, he says, to help raise money for his dog to have surgery. That organization run by Santos using the fictitious name Anthony DeVolder.
I needed it. I needed that dog to survive.
But as ABC previously reported, that charity never existed. Osthoff alleging Santos never turned over the funds. His dog passed away a year later.
That's like stealing my medication and stealing my best friend at the same time.
Santos denying the allegations, describing them as shocking and insane, adding he has no clue who Osthoff is. A source close to the GoFundMe situation confirming to ABC Santos ran that account. In a statement, GoFundMe saying they sought proof of the delivery of funds from the organizer. The organizer failed to respond, which led to the fundraiser being removed and the email associated with that account prohibited from further use. The Republican congressman also accused of another outrageous lie, previously claiming his mother was a 9/11 survivor.
She was in the South Tower, and she made it out. She got caught up in the ash cloud. My mom fought cancer till her death.
But immigration documents obtained by a genealogist through a Freedom of Information Act request and provided to ABC News suggest that's not true, indicating Santos's mother wasn't even in the U.S. that day. Despite growing calls from Democrats, some Republicans, and his constituents to resign, Santos has now been placed on 2 congressional committees. Speaker Kevin McCarthy signaling any discipline of Santos will be handled internally. M. Wynn, ABC News, Washington.
Here's a look at ABC's primetime lineup tonight. Celebrity Jeopardy at 8, then it's The Parent Test at 9, then it's The Chase at 10.
Stream 4 News Now on your TV for free with the KXLY Plus app.
The Floor Trader Outlet Deflation Sale going on now. LVP flooring, laminate, and tile at the lowest prices in over 2 years. Over 200 flooring and tile options in stock and ready for you to take home. The Floor Trader Outlet's Deflation Sale.
It's where the Northwest saves on flooring.
Corner of Division and Francis.
You want to know why I call South Carolina home? Come on, take a road trip with me. When you look around, you can really get a sense of why I love my home state. From the beaches all the way up to the beautiful mountains. South Carolina's got awesome scenery, cool cities, rich culture, and super friendly people. Of course, the best thing you can do is come down to South Carolina and find your own favorite places. Come see why I love this place.
Everyone loves winter fun, and you can take it even farther in a Honda. Experience the season's joys and conquer its challenges. Meet Snow Mode, standard on all Honda SUVs and truck. Because no matter how tough winter gets, you can still have fun driving it. Honda, Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com best overall brand for 2022. Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or visit your local Honda dealer today.
It's time. Time to set your eyes free. Free from limitations in your vision. Free from glasses and contacts. Free to see your best and be your best. It's time to smile. Smile is state-of-the-art laser vision correction, or LVC for short. Smile is easy on the eyes. It's bladeless, flapless, and effortless.
Contact Empire Eye Physicians today to learn more about Smile, the new alternative to LASIK.
At Cal, you'll never know what you'll find. Classic cars, tricked-out high-performance trucks, sporty low-mileage SUVs, and reliable fun rides.
We always have cool rides at SoFast.
Chevy, Ford, Dodge, Toyota, Mercedes, BMW.
If you need a certain style of vehicle, we will find it for you. Plus, every rig comes with a 1-month, 1,000-mile warranty.
And $50 down is all you need.
The inventory changes quickly because we price them right.
The Floor Trader Outlet Deflation Sale going on now. LVP flooring, laminate, and tile at the lowest prices in over 2 years. Over 200 flooring and tile options in stock and ready for you to take home. The Floor Trader Outlet's Deflation Sale.
It's where the Northwest saves on flooring.
Corner of Division and Francis. 4 News Now is brought to you by the Harlem Globetrotters 2023 World Tour.
Well, the Gonzaga Bulldogs are currently riding an 11-game win streak, but it hasn't always been the best of basketball over the last month and a half. Still, a win is a win, and as they remain in the hunt for a #1 seed in the NCAA tournament, taking on Loyola Marymount this evening. Well, there's Jun Suk-Yo, the newest member of the team out of South Korea, but fans are going to have to wait until next season to see him play for the Bulldogs. Off a Lions miss, the Zags will be back in quick transition here. Julian Strother's going to find Rasir Bolton. Hesitates for a moment, though. Decides to float the basket, gets it to go. And they're on top early. But Loyola not going away in this one. Cam Shelton drives to the basket and gets the nice layup to go down. And it's still a one-possession game. Back come the Zags on the other end. Bolton will find a wide-open Nolan Hickman. He's going to sink the three. Currently the score, it's a pretty tight one in the first half still. Gonzaga up by 4, but we are going to have the highlights for you coming up on Nightside as well as the post-game reaction to that one. Staying with the Zags, the 16th ranked women taking on Pacific earlier this afternoon. In the first, Gonzaga up early, and Michaela Williams helps add to that with a 3 from the top of the key. And the Bulldogs off to a 12-0 start. But back come the Tigers as Anya James receives the pass at the basket, finishes with the layup to make it a 1-point game. In the third quarter, Zags in control once again, and off a rebound, Caitlin Trong will go quickly up the court and waits until the last moment to dish it to Brina Maxwell. She gets the bucket to go down. In the fourth, Gonzaga trying to hang on, and Yvonne Ejim is going to ice it right here with the jumper at the basket as she finishes with the game-high 22 points, and Gonzaga survives for their 11th win in a row and remains perfect in WCC play. Now they're going to stay down in California this weekend and face off against St. Mary's on Saturday afternoon. And over in Cheney this morning, Eastern Washington was hosting Northern Colorado. In the first minute of the game, Jaleesa Lawrence is going to be left wide open as she knocks down the three-pointer, and the Eagles leading early. But back come the Bears off a fast break. Gabby Fields finishes with the layup to extend their lead, and they're going going to maintain that lead into the third quarter. At the end of the period, we're all tied up at 30 until Caden McNeil receives a nice pass, gets the bucket to go down, and Eastern retakes the lead, and they're not going to look back from there as Jadia Martin sinks the three-pointer, and it's a double-digit lead. And they take this game 49-36, limiting Northern Colorado to just 12 points in the entire second half. Eagles earn their 11th win on the season as they welcome in Northern Arizona on Saturday afternoon. And checking in with the Cougar men's game currently ongoing out in Salt Lake City. Washington State finds themselves down by 10 in the first half. They're basically going to need a win out from here if they want to make the NCAA tournament, so this result would not help if it is a loss. We're going to have the postgame for you coming up on Nightside as well. Kirsten, Aaron, I'll send it back to you.
Alex, thank you. Well, hundreds of RVs are at the Spokane County Fair and Expo Center for this week's Inland Northwest RV Show. Whether you're in the market for a new one or you just want to take a look, families are welcome to come browse. From fifth wheels to travel trailers, toy haulers, and motorhomes, you'll find all kinds of RVs from local dealers.
The energy is great down here. You know, we've got the retired people that come down and looking for that, you know, hey, we want to get away with their partner. We also have the families because a lot of these units have bunkhouses. They have a bedroom and then they have a couple bunk beds in the back, and they're perfect for families.
The Inland Northwest RV Show runs today through Sunday. Tickets are $12 and good for all weekend in case you want to go back. For more information on this year's show, see this story on KXLY.com. We'll be right back after the break.
Sign up for breaking news alerts with the 4 News Now app.
It's February here at Mainstream, and that means you can stay warm with our February Furnace Special, where you can fall in love with a free furnace when you purchase a new air conditioning unit. Let us provide your family with comfort and happiness this February. Call or visit Mainstream to find out more.
Let's wave the flag together. Hello, I'm Mark Peterson with 4 News Now, presenting the Great American Flag Swap. Bring your old tattered flag to Dave Smith in Kellogg, Idaho on January 25th, and in exchange, you'll receive a new American-made flag from Uncle Sam's Flag and Gift.
Dave Smith Motors has been serving the local community for over 50 years, and we're proud to support the Great American Flag Swap. If you've visited our dealership in the Silver Valley, you know how much we value our country and its national symbol of freedom. Dave Smith Motors, honoring our veterans and all who serve.
Well, looks like our surgery patient is feeling better today.
Yep, I didn't need any oxy today. I thought I'd do a little surgery on the drain.
Huh. Do you need your pain pills anymore?
No.
Well, we should get them out of the house. There are places to drop them off.
Yeah, okay. Actually, I can do that right now.
And I will look at the drain.
Prevent opioid misuse. Find safe medication return options near you at med-project.org.
4 News Now and STCU are recognizing volunteers who make a difference in our community. Today we honor Michelle Grove.
As a volunteer board member, Michelle works tirelessly to ensure STIX diabetes programs can serve children now and for years to come.
It's a volunteer job, but it's so worth every minute we can put into it.
Michelle's been a volunteer with the STIX program for 7 years. Its mission is to help minimize the impact of diabetes for children and their families. Thanks to STCU for helping make sure volunteers count.
Next, ET, our new interview with Max Smirkowski talking baby number 2 on the way. Plus,
not everybody's who they say they are.
Inside the Playboy murders, the new investigation with former Girl Next Door, Holly Madison.
Hugh Hefner, what would he make of these stories?
Well, plus our exclusive with the hit couple who are married to real estate.
19 million viewers.
I just now remember to suck it in.
Next, ET.
Watch 4 News Now at 6 and Entertainment Tonight at 7:30.
STA is a great place to work for a few different reasons. There are definitely a lot of opportunities here at STA, no matter where you start at. There's always opportunities for advancement, things to help you move from one position to the next.
All the departments here, paratransit, fixed route, we all work together to help the community, and that's why I like to work here.
Coming up tonight on Nightside, a new bill proposed in Washington requiring members of the clergy to report child abuse, while one senator says this bill is personal.
And why a new suicide and crisis lifeline is seeing a significant rise in call volume.
And we will be taking a look at developing fog around the region for tonight. Tomorrow, looking like a fairly decent day. Wish we could get a little more sun out of it, but I think we could say that about almost every day this time of the year.
That's okay, because Kirsten took a picture of the sunshine today. You can look at it for reference if you want.
Sally Zelsey.